So many of you have asked about spalling some Flint River chert. So we've got quite a few pieces here, including some odd chunks, some different sizes that I figured I'd spall out for you, kind of show you my process and go from there. Now looking at this from the side, we got a nice patty on the top shelf of this boulder. And so we're gonna try to get rid of everything below that shelf. All right, so pretty straightforward. Might see some wrapping here, which is totally okay. But let's just get into it. Now, instead of putting it here, right on my leg, and then shooting here, I think it would be fine. But sometimes when you put it like flat on your leg and you're trying to shoot a flake across, it can tend to split. It'll run, but it'll split in half. So sometimes I like to put it on the side of my leg here. And interestingly enough, that one split. Kind of on cue, but beautiful material. Really, really nice stuff. Love the swirls in this Flint River stuff. All right, so we're gonna hit high on this platform here. If we were to hit on the edge, you see the dip? If we were to hit on the edge, it'd just hinge out. If we hit really high, that there's still convexity from hitting on the upper portion of this. And that broke into, well, really this is a primary and secondary flake, is what you call those, or what you can call those. All right, really interesting. Place there. In order to run it, I had to do kind of a weird strike. It worked out. Worked out a-okay. Trying to abrade the edge here. Might get a nice flake from time to time. And let's go high on this edge too. So again, same principle. If you've got a dip, so hitting here will just dive in. But if you hit up here, you can imagine some convexity there. So it ran the natural, or we made it to have some convexity, put it that way. All right, a little bit of isolating here. And we got a nice, all right, this is instructional here. We have a pretty good ridge, right? So you'd want to hit here, generally speaking. We do have a slight dip, as you can see here. So we can do one of two things. We can either hit really high and take it off, or we can just kind of feather in to give it some convexity. But the issue is, our platform is not good right here. It would be good if it had convexity, because it's rather straight up and down right here. But this angle is actually good enough to take it all. This is a little bit too blunt because of the dip. This here is actually okay. So you get a nice little patty. Just kind of doing some cleanup work there. Ideally, we'd want to strike here. It's not really set up for that currently. give it a shot. Again, there wasn't any real ridge. I was just looking for just a little something to have. Now, there is a natural seam. See, that seam comes to about right there. What you can do at times is catch it. Generally, once you abrade. But there are times you can catch that like that. And it's still kind of there, but it's not as bad anymore. But now that gives us something to run. So we get a nice spall. Really can go kind of high here. Another spall. This is kind of where that flake was. A backwards flake. And it's still kind of there. But there, no. Now I want to show a principle here. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But you don't always have to hit on the lowest platform. In this case, it's actually okay. But a part of me kind of wants to hit here. You know, just because I can. But maybe I will. Maybe I'll do it just for the sake of doing it. Alright, so we're getting a ton of spalls. And we still have that whole patty on that side. So that was kind of our premise, what we were looking for. Now here again, I'm going to do something. Same thing I did last strike, I think. Notice this low spot here. The platform just isn't right. And it dives in. Look, it actually raises up the further you get out to the edge. But if you were to hit down here and it's abraded enough, you have that convexity. You don't have it here if you strike here, but if you strike up here, you do. But you best make sure you abrade, and sometimes these flakes can come off weird, so. Like that. You can get an odd Hertzian cone, but hey, I mean, it works. Now we're just having a little fun. I tell you what, you can actually come from the base here because the angle of this is pretty bad, but if we come in from that angle, it's pretty solid. You can sometimes abrade your ridge, and you can lower your ridge a little bit, and it helps you out. Now we got more room. Had to hit really high on that platform, but it came off. And really towards this stage, you can start using some other boppers. I mean, you don't have to use that big boy bopper all the time. You can switch to your copper, or to your other copper tools, I should say. And really that's just Cortex on the tip, so we'll kind of knock that off real quick. And you know what? That's a nice tab. You start working on them. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, 18, 19, 20 small ones down there. But all that coming off of, which one was it? This one. This one here. And you still got a really nice piece to, to work. You can get a really large size point. Or I will, because I won't be selling this rock. 8 inches long, so it's still a good size. And you get all these flakes along with it. So, pretty cool. Now that one was pretty easy. They're easy to reduce because it had a nice side to reduce from. But what about when you ain't got none of that? How about something like this? Now obviously this is going to be our longest side and the flattest, best material on the bottom. Ideally you want to get rid of everything above this line, so all this. How do you do it? Like, I mean, what do you do? Well, first and foremost, check to see if you can hit or strike these odd angles. In this case, I think we can. Okay, and we definitely can. Sometimes you get lucky and you're able to do that. Anyways, there's spall number 1. Now this right here might be able to get a little something. Maybe. Be a little something. Okay. Now let's just say, for instance, you can't do much of anything else from this stage. And I know I can, but I kind of want to just show you how to do it if you feel like you got no hope. Because there's still certain, I mean, you can, there are ways to isolate and get around all these odd platforms. But let's just say that, like you can even hit it back this way. Get rid of a little material. And you could start setting up and pressure flaking this where you can set up a platform back and just keep going in odd ways. But, let's say you have to come from a specific side. Where do you go? Now, typically, what I'll tell you to do is come from the side, keep your length. In this case, you can do that. You can. However, if we were to bevel this whole side, shoot this flake and run it, we'd still have thickness here. We'd still have thickness over here. And although we'd probably lose a little bit of that anyways, and we may bevel it anyways, look at your best options. I think this is going to be our best option. We got enough convexity to at least get halfway up to where we need to be. And honestly, the platform isn't that great. That's a little better. There we go. It's about what I need. A braid down to get convexity. You can even strike to the side, which miserably failed there, to kind of isolate it slightly. Really, on something like this, you have got to braid quite heavy. Okay, I think that was already broken, or there was already a seam there because that's mineralized right there. So water had seeped into that area before. So now, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And because we just struck so heavy on that area, this one most likely will just crush everything we work towards right there. And it did. So in this case, you know, you could come from here and lose a lot of your length, but I think I'll do what I warned against a little bit earlier. Let's see where my bopper's at. I know I got my heavy bopper here somewhere. Let's just use this one. And try to come in from the side. Okay. And might as well make it a wide platform. Not necessarily trying to shoot into the point at all. I'm just trying to raise the edge. And that's it. All I'm trying to do. Now again, we have one of those odd seams. Sometimes you can get them out as simple as that. Other times it's a bit more difficult. So now we lowered that platform like crazy. So we'll certainly be able to run over the top ridge. We'll probably have to make multiple strikes to reduce the thickness to the way we want it to be. So there's one. Okay. Oops. Now, the reason we had a wider platform, or did it across most of the face, is so that we'd have some area to shoot some additional flakes. I missed it a little bit. This one should be okay. All right. Again, couldn't run that that thick area there, at least not yet. I know I can. Just got to set it up right. How about something like that? Let's see if that'll do it. Now all this mess we caused from striking the tip, we can try to get rid of all the junk. Really just that one strike is all it took. Now we actually have some more good strikes back here. This one will hinge out. Maybe not. Well, yeah, it did. I was looking at it from an odd angle. I'm gonna make this platform a little bit easier to hit and hope that it's able to overshoot the edge. It might not be. Might not be good enough, but nah, wasn't quite good enough. I actually ran up on a little fossil in there. There's a little hole right there. See it right there? But didn't quite do it. So how do you get something like that out? Well, you just keep working the piece a little bit. Okay, you can get it from a couple angles. This is one of them. You can get it from the base as well. Get it from the tip. You can get it from the side. Whoops. This platform is pretty weak. I don't think it'll run. I just want to do it for fun. See, the platform wasn't quite good enough. So we'll have to get it from either the tip or definitely the side. You can definitely do it from the side. But we got it from the tip. Flattened it out. Pretty cool little flake. Okay, and if we didn't get it from there, we would have got it from here. It was just a matter of time. And then you just make your rounds along the piece. If you're worried about the thick edge, just come from a corner. Not necessarily from the base, but from a corner. And you can start to run it that way and start removing it from there. And multiple ways. You can get to it from here. You can just turn it into a platform. Should be good. anyways, so pretty cool. 25-minute video. And I have more I can do. So like for instance, we got this big old mammer jammer. I guess I'd just strike that platform there. If the angle's right. It's not great. Have to get it here, not on the edge, but here. Well, that didn't do amazing at all. There we go. Still pretty nice. Take that spall all day. Oops. Anyways, just a little spalling video. That's a long spall. It's a 6 1/4 inch flake. But hopefully this was helpful. Maybe it was. I mean, there's just pick your take at the platform you want to hit and go for it. And over time, you'll figure out what you need to do, what you need to not do, and figure out where your length is and how to use the area that isn't going to be in your final point to your advantage. And anyways, just rambling at this point. All this is area I'm not going to be using. These platforms aren't even built up how I'd usually have them. Kind of just rushing, but anyways, you figure it out over time. I'm not going to show all the spalls I hit off that last one, but we did get 2 nice patties left over. One's kind of candier than the other one, but both nap really good. And yeah, maybe that'll make for a video. Maybe y'all will watch it. Who knows? All right, see y'all later.